Okay, so for this Sephiroth, it was a painting, which is not something I usually do for Patreon art. And I was trying to kind of get it done fast. Like, I was kind of trying to take shortcuts, and it's like, can't really do that, honestly. And there were also some times that I kind of like had to fiddle around with it first to get what I was doing, but yeah, you'll see when I get there. Anyway, enjoy the video. So, the classic starting off with a sketch. Oh, I haven't like done a script for this. I'm just gonna be talking while watching the video playback. So I'm probably gonna just randomly remember things sometimes. Oh man, I had to like figure out his legs so much. You're gonna see me mess around with them way more. But yeah, like I don't have a script, so it's gonna be a little janky. Kind of like the Samurai Peanuts one. I got asked if I was streaming it because I was like talking to myself basically during the video, and it's like no, I just do that. Yeah, I'm still trying to get the legs right. Bye bye. Yeah, there they go. And the face is gonna bother me later too in it. And the arm. I can't remember if I kept that. I think I just redrew it. Did I? Did I keep it? Oh, maybe I did. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, it looks so different in the final product, even though I don't think I changed the shape. I swear I changed the hand. I don't know. Okay, we'll get there. Yeah, me not knowing my own art even immediately after I make it. I also kind of like those legs at first, too. But the new ones are also fine. I don't know why I got rid of them. I think they just looked bad, but looking back on it, they were fine. Sorry, that was probably kind of loud. And now I'm trying to figure out foreshortening. I think I kind of got it okay. Did I change that? Oh, you know what? I think I changed the hand while the recording was like paused or something. Yeah. Um, Throughout this video, like, or kind of near the, uh, well, near the very end, I, like, the way I record things is, like, I just press record, but my recording program has, like, a pause button. So if I know I'm gonna need to, like, respond to a message or something, it's gonna take a while, I pause the recording, and sometimes I forget to unpause it when I go back to the drawing, and it just doesn't, obviously doesn't record what I'm actually drawing, and I end up just losing the progress. And then also at some points throughout the drawing, I show people like works in progress, and they were like, "You need to fix that." Or I forgot his wing too because both the refs I had just didn't have the wing, so I forgot he had one, and I was like, "Oh right, okay, I have to add the wing, I guess." Oh, this face is gonna bother me. I don't keep it. I erase it. But yeah, you'll see me fix his eyebrows because he looked too angry. Then I eventually, like, off camera, like, quote unquote camera, like, fixed the face again because he didn't look angry enough, so, yeah. But I think the end product was worth it. Yeah, still trying to get it. I eventually just nuked the whole face. Yeah, still trying to get it. Do you guys hear that? That was my net cracking. Gotta have one net crack per voiceover thingy. Yeah, there we go. That hair definitely, that like face, like head position definitely looks more dynamic. So I am glad I went with it. Now I'm like really trying to get his face right. And then I still end up adjusting it a lot. Especially the chin. The chin, I think at the end it came out like fine, I guess, but man, it was bothering me throughout the whole drawing. Yeah, there we go. And then I just fixed that eventually. That's okay. There we go. Now we're close to what the face is supposed to be like. Yeah, sorry I haven't really explained anything either. Um, I guess there isn't much to explain. It's just kind of like, I can't really put any like strategies into words. There later in the video I'll be able to actually describe like, you know, what I'm doing. So like right now I just made the sketch multiply, so I can draw with dark shadows under it, and you know the sketch will still show up as like a dark line over it. Right now I'm like mapping out the values, because I use overlay layers later to like color it in. It's a pretty common painting technique. Although ideally one day I would like to just kind of learn how to paint like directly with the colors, but you know, baby steps. Yeah, just kind of making it, just filling in the black and white values, you know, really rough. Because I I fix them up later, you know, it's just kind of roughly putting things down. Eventually I merge the sketch down onto the values directly so I can like blend it in and it doesn't look like the sketchy pencil. Although in the final product there are still a few places where the like sketchy pencil of the sketch shows through, and I don't really mind. It's just like, it's a feature, you know. Yeah, and then I copy the shadow layer and paste it so it's like double shadows to make it darker. Now I'm adding the light values because like it's just the medium, like 50% gray, and then I'm also adding the light. And that like little disc thing above him, I forgot to mention that that's the light source. It's not like a real object. I was just like, I put that there to kind of help myself imagine where the light's coming from. It's like pointing directly at his face, so it's like kind of brightly lit with really white shadows. But then, you know, those are dwarfed by the white hair too, so yeah, I haven't added his wing yet. Eventually you'll see. What am I doing now? Oh, okay, yeah, I merged the sketch down. So now it's directly with the black and white layers too. Yeah, so when I blend the shadow, or like when I blend it with the brush like I'm doing now, the sketch layer disappears like with them. Like the sketch layer gets blended too, so the lines go away. Filthy lines that painters hate. Hehe. Oh yeah, and then the way I kind of do it, I don't know how common this is, but after I put down like the rough values, I like kind of flattening big areas out into one kind of overall main value, like I'm doing with the hair. I did that light gray, but then I added the white on top of it. But I kind of like the look of just mapping it out like that. Oh, and then for his eyebrows, I did them dark and then added like the white hairs, because I think that's closer to what like white hairs like kind of look like if they're thick. If they're like bleached, then they just kind of disappear into your skin, and I wanted him to have visible eyebrows, not invisible eyebrows. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, as I was saying, I kind of like mapping out like the whole area with like one solid value first, and then like minorly adjusting. Oh yeah, the chin, there we go. I hate, yeah, this chin bothers me for like the rest of the art basically. I'm so sad that I lost a huge chunk of like color adjustment, the belt, the whole detail of the belt. I lost all of that. Yeah, there we go. I'm trying to fix the chin again because it's bothering me. And then I like try to fix it, and then I just make it worse, so I just control Z everything. That's the nice thing about digital art, you know. And I'm like, nah, yeah, control Z. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, oh, there we go. So this is when I talked to someone and they were like, make him less angry, so then they made him like super smug instead. Then I decided to change that later anyway. Ooh, the blending part of the shoulder. That was really fun because it's so smooth. Yeah, and then here we go. I'm adding the wing. I moved his hair, so more of it would be visible because the wing would be in the way. I actually really like how I did it. Like, I started with this dark gray and then added black, and blended it out like into the dark gray, because when you put a dark color over a lighter one, it makes it look kind of more like it's glowing from the inside. I kind of stole that from this artist I really really like. Like she does really nice kind of glowing effects, like glowing from within effects, and I wanted to like emulate that. Yeah. Periodically, I go back and adjust the face just because I look at it and, like, I see that there's something to adjust, and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can do that. Also, something I did for, oh, here we go. I'm testing out different textures. I do actually add, yeah, this noise texture, but I don't leave it on while I'm working on it. I eventually, like, turn it off. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so for this one, I did this technique that I saw where it's like in the shadows, there we go, I turned the texture off. In the shadows, you decrease the detail and you leave the detail for like the lit areas, and the shadows are just completely flat kind of color, like, or yeah, value, I guess, like with very, very minimal detail. And I kind of dig how it came out, so I'm probably gonna keep doing that. Plus, it does mean like less rendering work for me, so you know, that's the real reason any artist does that. And then after this, it's just kind of going through and like improving everything, you know, it's like the rough values are down, but um yeah, it's adding detail, smoothing things out, roughing things up sometimes if they need to. You'll see that later when I add like the leather texture. Yeah, just needed to add a little bit of eyeshadow there, you know. It's Sephiroth, he's gotta look his best. Yeah, and then for like, you know, kind of rendering the shading, something I do a lot is I just scribble big like chunks of a certain color down and then just very roughly blend it out. That's something I do in charcoal too. Like just put like big washes of like dark charcoal on, and then when you blend it out, it just kind of all disappears almost. Oh, and there we go. I'm just kind of brightening up the face. Yeah, I periodically just go back. Oh, there we go. Now I'm adding the gradient map. I already had one in mind for when I started the piece. Yeah, it's that bluish one, but I make it less intense. I decrease like the opacity of the gradient map. I could explain what gradient maps are, but they're kind of complicated. This is the overlay layer. At this point, I just kind of got bored of like rendering and stuff, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something else. I'm just gonna add color, like whatever. I can finish rendering everything later, and I do, so it all works out. And the skin is way too pale, so I had to do a second pass over. That's me testing what it looks like without the gradient map, and then getting bored of coloring and going back to rendering, probably from seeing something that's unrendered, and then it bothers me, so I just have to go fix it. Yay, shading the skin time. I love doing that. Not just because it's a man chest before you make fun of me, but also that does help, so maybe I deserve to be made fun of a little bit. There we go, flattening the colors out. Yep, and then I do the same thing for these leather straps, just like all that same flat gray before like, you know, dressing up the values again. Because like the initial like kind of slap down of values is super rough. It's just to like get an idea. There we go. So this is like, I do it so fast here, but I do it again later. But I use this like grainy kind of like ink brush that has this watercolor texture. So like the edges of the brush are kind of like more opaque than the middle. And it's like, yeah, rough like that. And then I blend it out a little bit with a thick, like kind of watercolor brush to get that like leathery look that's still blended into, you know, the darkness of it. And at this point, I just kind of go around and like see things that need fixing and then just fix them. I think eventually, like way at the end, I fix that like side of the belt that looks kind of crunchy, like really pixely. Oh, my screen just turned black in the middle of me watching it. Okay. It's fine. I don't think I missed anything drastically important. Yeah, and then I think I kept like thinking to myself, I was like, okay, I need to go back and render those buckles like eventually, and then I never really did. But like, who's gonna be paying attention to like, you know, belt like loops or whatever when you have like man chest right in front of you? Like, like what are you, gay? That's what I think, at least. I finally got the leg right. Oh, when I'm shading like big areas like that, like a thigh, I honestly usually look up at the top right, just to like, because it's like zoomed out, so I see it from farther away, and that's super useful when like kind of getting the overall look of something right. And the hair looks super messy now, but then you blend it out with a brush, yeah, and then it kind of like actually looks normal. Hair is super fun like that. You just blend out the right places and it's like, bam, realistic, mostly passably realistic hair. Although white hair is a little weird. It doesn't shade the same way as like other kinds of hair do. Oh, and also regularly I make a new layer on top of the shadows and then just kind of add this like extra wash of dark color or of black over it to like increase the darkness without blending what's already there. Sword time. Oh yeah, that's me picking up the color. Oh yeah, so then I color the wings. Did I color the wings off camera? I color them like purple. I may have done it off camera. Yeah, I wanted them to be this like ethereal, like kind of like, oh, what's the word? Iridescent almost? Like a dark iridescent purple, you know? I think some hummingbirds are like that and it's really cool. But theirs is like more sparkly. I wanted this one to be more subdued. And the hand is really close to the light source too, so it's pretty highlighted. At some point kind of soon, it's probably going to jump ahead to like when the skin is rendered better, like the color is a little better. I can probably explain like, how I did that. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Oh, I think I forgot to pause and I'm just like on Discord or something. But yeah, so during the jump ahead, I like increase the saturation of the skin. I think I do that partly here too. Yeah, I'm adding a little bit more red, but I also add like a glow layer to it. Oh no, I do that here. Now it's way too saturated, but then I add this glow layer that kind of like lightens it and then also balances it out. So it looks like, more just like skin as opposed to like orange person. And here I'm just cleaning up the colors because I just kind of slapped them down earlier because I was tired of rendering. But then here I actually properly like, clean them back up and I'm still trying to fix that lip and it still doesn't work. It keeps bothering me. And here I'm just erasing a little bit of that like weird red I put over, like that muted red I put over the leather, just to like have some of the blue from the gradient map show up a little bit more under. There we go, more skin rendering. That's what I like. Yeah, and then erasing the skin off the eyebrows so they don't look like they're like skin, because that would be kind of creepy. I guess the Super Saiyan 3s in Dragon Ball Z are like that, so maybe not. Oh yeah, and that was me picking up the red I used for the coat. Or for all the leather, honestly. For, like, everything that he's wearing except for the armor. Yeah, there I'm just adjusting the skin tones. Oh, okay, there we go. We did the jump ahead. See, his skin's lighter now. I added a glow layer. And I fixed his face. I moved his eyebrows lower. So at this point, I actually do get, like, a decent amount, done. But this clip ends at this, like, I don't know, for me, it feels like a cliffhanger because it's like, oh no, it's right before you do all like the finishing touches, and I didn't get those, and I'm really sad. But like at least I got a decent amount of footage. I'm glad I got the rest of the sword because I liked the process for that. See, like this is a good example of the less detail in the shadows. I straight up don't even like define the things like the ridges on the hilt in the dark part, like in the shadow under his hand. I only leave the like the ones in the light. And then, yeah, just more rendering, I guess. I was ignoring that shoulder for so long. I don't know why, I just didn't feel like doing it, and I still didn't while I was doing it. I was like, man, I can't wait to be doing something else. But I ignored the belt buckle, too. That was a pain, but it was actually kind of fun to do, and I'm sad I lost the footage. Yeah, doing that, like, just slapping down the color and then blending it out. I did include some finishing touches at the very end. Like they weren't the ones that I was talking about, but I like adjusted some very small things. So hopefully, I mean, yeah, it's not as good as getting to see the whole thing, but hopefully it's at least better than not getting to see any of the finishing touches. Do I put a highlight on? Yeah, I do. Okay, I was just about to do that. It's funny watching yourself paint because, like, it's you're doing it, so you have the same thoughts at every point in time, like, and then you do it, like, and it's like, ah, just as expected. Me? Like, yes, it's you. Yeah, of course, you did what you expected. Also, adding those little thin, like light strands of hair works so well for making hair look like more realistic and prettier. For no matter what hair color. For white, obviously it has to be white, but even for other colors of hair, just use a really light version of it, like a really pale one, and add those thin strands. For that hilt, I kind of just guessed what I was doing. I was like, light would probably go here. That looks metallic enough. I don't think I get the footage of adding the color to it, though. Oh well, I mean, honestly, it was really easy. It was just a singular wash of color. Lots of cleaning up with painting. With drawing, the lines can be a huge pain to do because they're so precise, but once they're done, they're done. You don't need to like constantly clean up the little edges. Oh, okay, there we go. And now we just jump straight to this. Oh, now I'm gonna do the leather thing again with the darker bleed brush on Clip Studio. And then I blend it out with the opaque watercolor brush. Um, Yeah, that part was super fun. And when I did it on the straps, and I was like, okay, I need to do it. Oh yeah, and then here's the finished belt buckle, and like, none of the process was recorded because I'm a dummy. I forgot to check to record it. What else do I fix? Oh, that's right. I fixed those like random little pieces over there because I added a background and those little chunks didn't get selected. The wings look cool up close, if I may say so myself. Sorry, that was my phone vibrating. I should have turned it to just to silent, but oh well. Okay, there we go. It's all done. Hope you enjoyed.